Some of the information on this CD might surprise you. You might even doubt that it's true. But I can assure you that all this information can be discovered by anyone who would care to spend the time to find it. The opinions and suggestions that I'm going to share here are based on 20 years of experience and training, as well as common sense, research, and consultation with many experts. If you're the kind of person who doesn't want to take full responsibility of your well-being and the well-being of the people you love, you're probably not going to like this. This is for all of you who don't want to be in the dark and who want to know all that you can about how to get yourself and your family as healthy as you can and stay that way for as long as you can. I'm Todd Burrier, and now that all the qualifiers are out of the way, I give you the antidote. I call this the antidote because that's what it is. You see, we're all being subtly poisoned. The poison comes in many forms. Some we can avoid, and some we can't. The proof of that is that society is getting sicker, younger, every day. No one is immune. So first, I'm going to tell you a little about what's poisoning us. Then I'm going to give you the proof. And then I'm going to talk about the antidotes. Oh, and I'm going to stay away from the technical jargon here. If you want to know scientific terms, you can look those up. Okay, poison. The air you breathe, especially if you live anywhere near a city, is polluted. Some cities in America, breathing the air is like smoking a pack or more of cigarettes a day. Now that kind of puts a damper on the impact of a smoking ban, doesn't it? Now, can you stop breathing air? No. If you like being alive, air is not optional. I don't think wearing a gas mask would be fun or very fashionable either. So maybe we should stay indoors more. Well, that's probably not going to help much either. You see, carpet, paint, cleaners, dust, and the air coming in from the outside are all full of toxins. Have you ever heard of sick building syndrome? It's pretty bad, isn't it, when even our buildings are getting sick? Kitchens are one of the most toxic places in the house because the cleaners emit gases right into the air that we breathe. If you like wearing clothes, then you probably like them clean. Detergents are full of chemicals that are toxic. And by the way, when I say toxin or toxic, you should hear promotes cancer. Okay, so far we're breathing toxic air while wearing clothes that are rubbing toxins into our skin 24 hours a day. And now we get thirsty. Now, I'm not going to talk about milk and hormones or soda and battery acid or anything fun like that. Let's just talk about a nice, cool glass of water. Water is in the category of air. It's not optional. So how do they purify water so that we can drink it without getting sick? And by the way, just the fact that they have to purify it in the first place is an environmental indictment. But they do have to kill the parasites and bacteria that cause us to get violently ill. So how do they do this? With chemicals, of course. The main one being chlorine. What's on the side of a bottle of chlorine? A skull and crossbones. You see, you can't drink chlorine because it'll kill you, unless, of course, you dilute it with an entire reservoir of water. Now, obviously, they put amounts in the water that are going to kill the bacteria and the parasites, but not us. But it's still poison, and it builds up in our system over time, and it's horrendous for our stomachs. And by the way, chlorine doesn't get out all the other chemicals and toxins that leach regularly into our water supply. It seems almost daily we hear about the contamination of another community's water system. So you say, well, no biggie, Todd, I'll just drink bottled water. Well, that's a good answer, but are you going to shower with bottled water? You see, chlorine enters your body through your skin also. Okay, so right about now, we're getting a little hungry. A highly respected physician I know once said, Americans are digging their own graves with their teeth. Ouch! Not only is that a gnarly visual, it's brutal. But unfortunately, it's true. In general, the foods we eat are not very good. Now, I'm not even going to talk about fast foods because everybody knows what a fat-building nutritional nightmare that is. Then there's all the wonderful processed foods we buy off the store shelves that are just loaded with yummy chemicals and preservatives. Even if we eat fresh food, we have fruits and vegetables that are grown in areas where they're irrigated with polluted water, in soils that are full of chemicals, covered in pesticides, and then picked too soon because of shipping distances and shelf life concerns. Our meats are tainted with hormones, and our fish might actually glow in the dark. But we've got to eat. And maybe you're already eating purely organic because you can afford to. Well, at least you know that the hormones and pesticides aren't involved. But everything else is still a factor. The other problem with food in general is that the nutrition content, which is nature's antidote for us, has dramatically decreased over the years. The crucial vitamins and minerals that our bodies need to perform every function have been depleted from the soil. Fruits and vegetables in general today have less than half of the nutrition value they had just 30 years ago. That means there's half of the calcium and half of the vitamin A, etc. When you add processing and cooking depletion, there's just not much left for your body to use. If we should be eating 5 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies for our health, and they're only worth half of what they used to be, do we have to eat 10 to 20 servings? You see, that's not going to happen. Heck, a recent study showed that only 11% of the population gets the 5 to 9 servings. Okay, so to wrap up this part of the program, you got to live, you got to breathe, you got to drink water, and you got to eat. I could have gone on for hours with facts on this stuff, but I'm only trying to wake you up, not put you to sleep. Now, you could do your own homework if you want to know more about the things that I spoke about. The bottom line is that this has taken a serious toll on our health, and poor health stinks. It ruins our fun in life, and it wreaks havoc on families. Here's the proof. The health statistics tell the tale. Now, these numbers are for the U.S. only, although most developed countries have similar issues. Over 100 million people have elevated cholesterol. Over 100 million people have digestive problems. 1 out of 4 people deal with allergies and asthma. Over 70 million people have high blood pressure. The number 1 killer is heart disease. The number 2 killer is cancer. 10 million people have osteoporosis, and 34 million have osteopenia, or low bone mass, which is the last stop before osteoporosis. 40 million people have arthritis. 10 million people have autoimmune diseases like lupus and fibromyalgia. 21 million have diabetes, and it's estimated that double that number are at a high risk to have it soon. 90% of diabetic cases are type 2, which is primarily from lifestyle. Weight problems affect 3 out of 4 people and is an underlying cause for many deadly diseases. Cancer, diabetes, and obesity are skyrocketing in children. Now, what do all these things have in common? They ruin people's lives, and they are largely preventable. Now, these statistics don't reflect all the people who just flat out feel lousy every day, or who have little energy, or are aging way faster than they should. How many people this week are going to learn that they got to deal with something like this for the rest of their life? Do these issues happen overnight? No way. They build up over time from the combination of bad stuff that we're dealing with, which, by the way, also includes stress, genetic factors, and other lifestyle choices. As a nation, we are losing the battle. But there are answers, and we can win. So what is the antidote to our deadly lifestyles? Well, there's the perceived antidote, and then there's the real antidote. The perceived antidote is pharmaceutical drugs. I say this because modern medicine's host of miracle drugs are designed to be quick fixes once we're already broken. The real antidote is about helping us not get broken in the first place. So before I get to the real antidote, let me give you some insight into the world of pharmaceutical drugs. And before I go any further, I want to make it very clear that drugs do save millions of lives, and I have great respect for most of the medical community and many friends who are doctors. You see, drugs are created in many cases by taking a natural substance that has healing properties and adding chemicals to create a new substance. The new substance forces the body to do a certain thing, like lower cholesterol or reduce inflammation. It's usually not getting rid of whatever's causing the problem, it's simply reducing the effect of the problem. Since this is not the body working naturally, the body has to adjust in some other way, which is why there are side effects. It's the old yin and the yang kind of thing. The side effects for most drugs are so scary that if we didn't have to use the drug, we probably wouldn't. The reason they alter a natural substance many times is because then it can be patented and sold for huge profits. You see, you can't patent tree bark. So why wouldn't doctors suggest the natural alternatives instead? Because pharmaceutical companies and medical technology companies fund medical research and support medical schools. Medical students are taught how to treat with drugs, not natural substances. Then the pharmaceutical companies spend big bucks advertising these drugs, so you think they're the answer, and they tell you to ask your doctor about it. Then they try to motivate the doctors by spending more big bucks on influencing them to prescribe these drugs. It is a brilliant scheme. But again, don't take my word for it. Do some research on your own. It will flabbergast you, the stuff you learn. The bottom line is money. Healthcare, or I should say sick care spending, is over $2 trillion in the U.S. Yet obviously as a country, we're getting sicker, not healthier. I'm sorry, but that just does not add up. The pharmaceutical industry makes a lot of money treating disease and sickness. What could possibly be their motivation to have people stay healthy? Now, I'm not being a hypocrite. There's times when we all need medicine, but we should be doing all we can to avoid and delay these times from happening so that when we spend less money on treatment, we'll have a way better life. So now it's time to give you the antidote. Actually, it's antidotes, but they all fall under the heading of simple prevention. The obvious ones are exercise, eating right, which would include lots of fruits and vegetables, using non-toxic household products, drinking clean water, and getting plenty of rest. But you know all of this, right? The question is, are you doing these? Statistics say probably not most of them. More than likely, it's because it's hard to do. I mean, it's doable, but for most people, this requires a dramatic change in lifestyle, and change is hard. It's sort of like the story of the heart patient who goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, it's like this, Bob. You can't eat red meat, you can't drink alcohol anymore, you can't smoke, and you can't eat fast food. And Bob says, well, will that make me live longer, Doc? The doctor says, I don't know, but it'll sure feel longer. See, whether or not you're willing to change your lifestyle, which I urge you to do, there are some simple things you can use that will increase your chances of staying healthy longer and help you naturally deal with any health issues that you may have. Now, before I tell you about what these 6 natural lifestyle antidotes do, you need to know that natural products don't cure anything. They simply give your body what it needs to help itself without the deadly side effects and at much less expense and with much better quality of life. For example, if you have high cholesterol and you use a natural product and your cholesterol goes down, it's because your body is using the product to deal with whatever is causing the problem, not because it's being artificially lowered. Your body is an amazing machine, and when you give it the right stuff, it can run really well for a long time. Think of your car for a second. If you don't take care of it, change the oil, do routine maintenance, you end up taking it to the car doctor because it's not going to run right, and it actually won't last very long. This costs a whole lot more than taking care of it through preventative maintenance. Obviously, your body is a lot more complex, but you get the analogy. Take care of it, and you won't need the doctor so much. And you'll feel a lot better. So here we go. And these are not in any specific order of importance. Lifestyle antidote number 1, fiber. Colon cancer and gastrointestinal problems are running rampant. 7 out of 10 people pass their food only once a day or less. Most Americans don't get nearly enough fiber in their diet. The average is around 10 grams a day, when what we need for health is around 30 grams a day. You see the correlation? There's 2 easy ways to know if you're getting enough fiber. 1, do you pass your food at least 2 times a day? And 2, and sorry to be sort of graphic here, but when you do pass your food, does it sink or does it float? You see, float is good and sink is bad. Another little known tidbit is that your body absorbs different nutrients in different parts of your intestinal tract. If you aren't passing food regularly, then it's a guarantee that you're clogging up areas where you need to absorb nutrients. Fiber gently cleanses your insides so that you can make the most of anything else you put in. It also pulls dietary fat through your system quicker so you absorb less of it. A fiber supplement is a smart, easy way to keep bad stuff from hanging around in your body. Number 2, fruits and vegetables supplement. We already know most people aren't getting the necessary fruits and vegetables every day. And that even if they were, they aren't as nutritious as they used to be. They're also expensive. A recent study showed a family of 4 would have to spend 40% of their food budget just to get the minimum requirements. So it's obvious how smart it is to use a concentrated fruits and vegetables supplement. But there's another very important and little known reason. Fruits and veggies contain other powerful immune system nutrients called phytonutrients. You may have seen lycopene advertised in some foods. This is a phytonutrient found in tomatoes. There's all kinds of other phytonutrients. Experts believe they are major anti-cancer nutrients. When we process food or cook vegetables, we kill these off. So I repeat, it's really smart to use a concentrated, cold processed supplement. Number 3, omega-3 fatty acids. Fish and nuts are great sources of omega-3s, but the amount of omega-3s you need are beyond what you would want from these sources. Studies have shown that 4 grams a day can naturally reduce triglyceride levels by as much as 40%. Omega-3s can help the body naturally lower cholesterol, prevent heart disease, have healthy bones, reduce inflammation, improve skin, and improve mood. You should be consuming at least 1 gram a day of omega-3s. The FDA considers 3 grams per day to be safe. You should supplement for this because nuts are so high in fat and fish often contain mercury. You'd have to eat fish 4 times a week to get the equivalent of 1 gram a day. That'd be way too much mercury risk and very expensive, unless of course you're catching them yourself. The mercury is contained in the meat of the fish. Omega-3s are contained in the fish oil, which is mercury-free. A distillation process is then used to remove any additional toxins. So a high-quality supplement is the smartest and least expensive source of omega-3s. You should be using omega-3s for cardiovascular prevention at a minimum, but also give it a try to naturally deal with arthritis, cholesterol, or depression. Number 4, antioxidants. The bombardment of toxins that we face causes a process called free radical oxidation. This is a natural process that also happens from metabolism. It's the same concept that leads to rust on your car and wrinkles on your skin. It's part of aging, but it is accelerated big time by our poisonous world. So we are all aging quicker physically and getting major health problems younger than we should. Antioxidants slow down oxidation. Oxidation can lead to heart disease, cancer, and all kinds of stuff that you don't want. The well-known antioxidants are vitamins A, C, and E, but other vitamins play a huge role too. For example, vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency has been linked to 16 different cancers. Studies have shown that getting at least 1,000 units of vitamin D per day can reduce cancer risk by as much as 50%. The impact of antioxidant vitamins on reducing cancer and heart disease risk is well documented. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of studies that show it. You can look it up if you feel the need. What's crucial to understand is that regardless of how much of the right food you eat, you cannot, I repeat, cannot get enough antioxidants to counter the onslaught of free radicals your environment is throwing at you. The smart approach is to supplement. Lifestyle antidote number 5, OPC. OPC stands for oligomeric proanthocyanidins. Now you know why we just call it OPC. This is also sometimes called pycnogenol. This is like the Superman of antioxidants. It was discovered over 50 years ago by a French scientist named Dr. Jacques Masquier. Perhaps you've heard of something called the French paradox. This is the fact that the French people eat a high diet in fat as well as smoke a lot. You'd have a much lower incidence of heart disease than any other country. This is attributed to the OPC and resveratrol in the red wine they drink. OPC is 50 times stronger than vitamin E and 20 times stronger than vitamin C as an antioxidant. It also serves as a sort of multiplier in that it makes other antioxidants work better. Studies have shown that this nutrient is awesome for your heart, immune system, joints, and skin. Besides the great prevention benefits, OPC has helped people all over the world who suffer from arthritis, allergies, and that would be yours truly here, autoimmune, diabetes, circulation problems, and other things that compromise the immune system. If I was only allowed to use one supplement in my life, this would be the one. Antidote number 6, minerals. Mineral deficiency is an epidemic. Minerals are used in virtually all the important functions in your body, but the food supply is woefully short of them because minerals get into the food through the soil. and the soil is depleted. So some of the most deficient ones are calcium. Deficiency in this is a major problem for your bones and leads to osteoporosis. Deficiency in calcium also increases colon cancer risk and high blood pressure risk. Magnesium. This mineral does tons of stuff, including helping your body use calcium, as well as help with your natural energy, and is crucial for the heart. Deficiency can show up on the surface through muscle cramps, weakness, and restlessness. Chromium. This mineral helps insulin perform in the body. Deficiency leads to impaired glucose tolerance, which can lead to high cholesterol and plaque buildup in arteries. This mineral is helpful for type 2 diabetics. Selenium. Deficiency in selenium affects your immune system and your ability to fight infections. This antioxidant mineral is great for the prostate and is a big-time cancer fighter. Sulfur. This is called the mineral of utilities because it's used in every cell in the body. Deficiency shows up in problems with hair, skin, and nails, but also in many other areas like your joints. This is another major anti-cancer mineral as well and is great for inflammation. MSM is a nutritional form of sulfur you can use. There are many other important minerals that our food is deficient in as well, and again, you can look them up if you want to learn about those. So there you have it, the 6 key natural lifestyle antidotes: fiber, fruit and veggie concentrates, omega-3s, antioxidants, OPCs, and minerals. They're easy to use. I know, I've been using them for myself and my family for years. Now, I do all the other stuff to be healthy, but the easiest thing I do is use these kinds of supplements. I look at it like easy, inexpensive health insurance. My results? I'm in my late 40s. I have the blood work of a much, much younger, healthy man. As a matter of fact, in my most recent physical, the nurse literally was laughing when she read me my triglyceride and cholesterol report because she had never seen anything like it for someone my age. I rarely get sick in any way, and I have more energy than I know what to do with. And maybe you think, he's got good genes. Well, my father died at 48 from cancer. My brother died from cancer at 42. 3 out of 4 of my grandparents died early from heart disease or stroke, and the other one lived a little bit longer, if you can call it living, with heart problems and diabetes. I've also eliminated my allergies and gotten rid of joint pain from years of playing sports. You know, your body has the ability to function great until you're a ripe old age. Now, if you don't take care of yourself, modern medicine has the potential to keep you alive for years anyway, but it's not much of a life. We all have relatives who existed for years as prisoners of a broken body. Who wants that? Wouldn't you rather have life in your years? Well, I've given you the information. It's an easy thing to do. The rest is now up to you. Call the person who gave you this CD and find out how they can help and which antidotes they use. I hope you have a long, active, and fun life.